You get yourself in and you get yourself out. But how true that is. Let's get into it. Welcome guys to That's Just Tara. This is Tara's mom, Melissa, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. This is going to be a very juicy video, so make sure you don't miss a second of it, okay? A lot of people like to play tough on you, but when the years go by, they get older, they have needs that need to be met that maybe they can't do on their own, and then all of a sudden, they need you. What would you do in that situation? I think it all depends, right? So before we dig really deep into this, I have something with the letter E. Okay, so I want to remind you really quick that we have a community tab. That's where we post all of our behind the scene photos, some reflections that sometimes come through, and just announcements and things like that. So make sure you go check it out every time that you can. This video is going to be posted in 2 playlists. The one for mental health and my mystery playlist one, which is the mystery playlist that doesn't have a number right next to the title. Make sure you check those out too. I'm going to be putting the links to those in the description as well. Also tonight, if the universe allows, sometimes I don't post on the same day that I record, but today I actually am. We're going to be going to a display of Halloween lights. So we're going to be posting. I'm not going to be posting a long form content video for it. I'm just going to be posting some shorts. So make sure you check those out tonight or tomorrow when you have a little chance to. Some of you, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, may have noticed that yesterday I made a post with the quote, "I went through my darkest times alone. So sorry if I act like I don't need anyone." And this is apparently a quote by a character called Tommy Shelby, which I have never watched before, but would be interested in the future of seeing what is behind that story. You can actually tell that, just by reading the quote, you can interpret a lot. And on the caption of that quote, I said, you guys, this morning I went through a thread that, I considered really interesting. Then after that, I kept scrolling through and I saw that picture quote. And it inspired me to start writing on the script for my next long form content video. This is how my scripts look like. Really crazy. Really, really crazy. So I try to, I try not to look at them too much. Sometimes I don't even have a script and I just let things just flow. I want to remind you also that this vlog is only for entertainment purposes only. This vlog is not to offer mental health professional advice, no legal advice, no financial advice, no advice whatsoever, okay? It's just for entertainment purposes only. You have to make sure that that is very clear before you continue watching. Why do I always say this? Because my opinion is usually unpopular. Okay, so since I have very peculiar comments about certain subjects, I just want to make sure that we are on the same page on the fact that I make this video only just to give you my opinion and, again, entertainment purposes only. Okay, so there's this post that I that I came across with about this girl, who has become viral over time, but because she makes mistakes, but she makes mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and each one of them just goes very, very public, and I am not sure why. She feels like she has to explain herself over and over again. So what does that do? That triggers for a lot of people to start hating on her, So it's either that, or it's people that come up with just advice. Okay, and I came across one of those lines that offered advice. By the way, I made a video the other day on how to deal with haters online, because that's another subject. Go ahead and check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and place the link in the description so that you can have a better understanding of this video as well. Okay, so this lady says, please seek from your family and God. And I was just reflecting on it internally, and then I just couldn't help. I couldn't help it. And then I told her, I put it in, and I told her, you know, I really think my opinion is that she is really better off just seeking from God, if she's religious or if she has faith in God. And she will be better off using her power of will. And this is because sometimes a lot of people assume that families are always readily available, because it is a universal way that people in general are taught about. You know, your family is your main support system, so for anything that you need, go up to your family. But that's not the case for everyone, and sometimes we have to grow a certain level of empathy for those that do not. And it's not because they were evil towards their family, it's because as they grow up, they are mistreated, they are left behind, they may have gotten abused, or they may have gotten neglected. And let me clarify about this. I'm talking about the immediate family that that person may have grown up with, immediate, like the family that that person grew up with under the same roof. I am not talking about circumstances that they could be under. For example, if there is an absent parent or an absent mother, and there were some visitation arrangements, or maybe there was parental alienation involved. No, I am talking about the circle that that person grew up with under the same roof. Could have been grandparents, could have been just maybe mom, could have been just maybe dad. Okay. Or could have been the family, or a home that they grew up in, like a foster family, I meant to say, excuse me. And when those things happen, the person feels so left behind that any mistakes that they make out there, they're going to be like, well, my family's not going to care anyway, So, and, once they're adults, that's actually, it's sad, because, they have to pay for those consequences. But those dark times actually make those people grow a lot stronger within. And they're usually people that pay things forward and like to help others and like to inspire others to also be able to overcome things in life with resilience. So sometimes these families, let's say, for example, something happens to the person that is currently struggling. They go up to them, they'll shrug their shoulders, they'll be like, we have tried helping you. You are like old enough to do things on your own. You got yourself in, you get yourself out. They'll tell that person, I have my own responsibilities and my own struggles. But here you go, $25, $100, or oh, it's your birthday. Here you go, $1,000, but don't bother me. So once that person gets out of those dark times, comes out on the top. They don't have hatred in their hearts, but they still grow cold and they don't forget, because they could forgive in their hearts, but they still grow cold. And then those that were family um, will often go around and tell people, they'll make announcements and tell people, I have tried helping them, whatever. They'll like fill them in with a lot of stuff ahead of the other person. That way they feel like they're backed up and covered. And these people that have struggled so much are in such a vulnerable position. They're disadvantaged in society. Who's going to believe them, right? Right? So they decide to do it alone. So that's why I would like to encourage you to not judge against people that you may see committing mistake after mistake, and it's so public. Be very careful, because you don't know what's going through, their minds. You don't know what they're going through, and you don't know exactly how their childhood might have been like. Let me add an additional layer of clarification towards this. This child growing up may have been given shelter, may have given food, may have been given clothes. But where's the love? Huh? Where's that love? Where's that guidance? Well, those guardians chose to spend mostly time with their friends, or if they got divorced, spend time with their boyfriends or girlfriends, or out partying or whatever. They decided to leave that child behind. So that child grew up without the necessary love and without the necessary guidance. So I really want you to be more empathetic, and believe more in humanity. Be more gentle towards others, because not everyone grew up like you, in the case that you grew up with all those things that are so vital. This could go even further. There are some families that could have abused those children, or have witnessed abused, or maybe those children reported a certain abuse, like little children we're talking about. And maybe they lived, in an environment where they have the mentality of, we can't let things come out, because this family is going to be destroyed, because this and that. What are people going to say? Okay. So this is why I want you to be very understanding. Be so careful of what you comment on their posts. And I think it's wonderful that when you give advice, seek from God, seek from family, but just be careful with the family part, because sometimes that's not it. And I, regarding that girl that I read the post about, that post, that she made, I have seen her parents being interviewed online. And I think it was during one of the occasions, I think, where she was just, she went off the grid or whatever. She just wanted to be off the grid for a while, and, to just have people stop harassing her and what have you. So they interviewed her parents, and her parents were just like, you could tell by their body language that they didn't give a fly about her. But they would certainly stand up in front of the camera and say, oh, we have tried and this and that, that typical. But you could tell, because you could tell in her behavior on camera and all these things that she has been doing, which are very chaotic things that come up online. But here's the thing. There's a time and a place for everything. But where she posts those things, we're talking about the mainstream stuff, like Facebook, Instagram, the main stuff. And sometimes you just have to keep things, where they belong, or keep things private, or put them where they belong, right? But the way that she acts, I know that when she gets older, she is going to learn from that, and she is going to adopt a new version of herself, and she is going to be an inspiration for many. But I know, in fact, that her parents were not genuine. They were not genuine. I could tell that they didn't really care. I could tell that they didn't care from the beginning, because this is why a lot of people end up acting the way they do. But nobody wants to talk about the past. Everyone wants to blame her because she's an adult now, Yeah. And I've talked about this briefly also in other videos. Some people, sometimes, they'll post things on social media. Maybe they're disappointed by some things, and you know how it goes, that you post something and a lot of people think it's about them. And, instead of those people trying to get close to you or fix a relationship with you, they rather live on your social media. And then after that, start complaining, start crying to other people about what you posted when you didn't even put their name, right? So if you are going through something like this, I'm trying to talk to different audiences, and I'm sorry, it might feel like a little bit confusing. But if you're going through something like this, always stay, anonymous. Just say something in general, and trust me, whoever knows has done you wrong will get offended. Sometimes they'll reach you about it. They'll reach out to you about it, excuse me. If the shoe fits, let them wear it. But trust me, they'll get so offended because they know they're in the wrong. They'll go off the grid in certain areas too, like social media, whatever. They'll talk to you even less or whatever because they feel embarrassed. That's the guilt trip that they acquired themselves by stalking your profile, knowing that they did you wrong. They stalked your profile and they ended up with their feelings hurt because they know it's about them. So when they tell you, you get yourself in, you get yourself out when you cry out for help. Remember that. And remember this too also. I'm not trying to let you grow hatred in your heart. But like I have said in all these videos, you have to be guarded. You have to be guarded. And don't let them guilt trip you. Because that's narcissism. All that gaslighting, it's narcissism. So this is what you're going to do if you're in that position. Okay? You are equipped with those tools. to get back up. Okay? You're going to get them out of your system. You're going to open that toolbox. All right? You're going to get each one of them out. Also, do not be afraid to ask for help. And I have videos of that too. I'm going to go ahead and post a link in the description to I'm writing it down so I can remember it. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and look that up. It's okay to ask for help. And for those who rub things on your face after they helped you, I have a video for that too. And I'm gonna put it in the description. Okay, I want you to be equipped. All right. Okay. Why do I say it's okay to ask for help to a third party other than your family? Because there are angels out there. Okay, there are people out there that are willing to go the extra mile and that are willing to open their hearts and trust in good faith that you are going to become a better person, that you're going to be able to get out of it. They're not going to be able to help you forever, but that little help will count as long as they don't rub it on your face later on. And there's people like that. There are good people like that, but I don't want you to be afraid of asking for help. Okay, if you can't find a certain tool, one of those tools is resilience, power of will, motivation, purposes. If you can't find one of those tools, I want you to reach out for help. And that path to get to where you need to be may be really, really, really slow. You may have to endure a lot of uncomfortable feelings and roadblocks. But as slow as it may be, if you continue steadily, you're gonna get there. And like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, time is going to pass by. And all those years of struggle that you had when you were younger, where you were feeling left behind, ignored, overlooked, neglected, right? All that, it's going to come to a point where it's going to hit the other person. And you know what it's going to hit? When they are also in need. But let me tell you, they may have the financial stability and so on. But those people that were around them, they may be gone. They may have passed away. They may actually need actual help. Maybe they have some physical difficulties, conditions, or whatever. And they're alone. They need that moral support. And that's going to be up to you. That's going to be a very personal decision of yours. You can forgive and not forget. Or you could forgive and not forget. But here's what I want you to remember. Don't be afraid to pay with the same coin that they gave you your whole entire life. Don't be afraid to pay with the same coin. Okay? Because it took so many efforts and so many years of you being able to recover yourself emotionally. It took so long. It took so much work that you need to be able to enjoy your peace. Okay? And maybe the people that were around you supporting you could have been one, it could have been two, maybe. Those circles don't have to be enormous, you know. The ones that were there for you when you were shedding tears. And that maybe they couldn't have done much, but being a listening ear. Or just by telling you, I am here for you if you want to talk. You know, let me give you a hug. I know you need one. Those are the ones that deserve that attention and that moral support. In reciprocation, hopefully I said it the right way. And excuse me if I didn't. So don't be afraid to put peace first. Okay? Don't be afraid to put peace first. And if they start getting really upset, they say, oh, who was the one that raised you? Who was the one that gave you food? Who was the one that gave you clothes? Who was the one that gave you shelter? Forget about telling them all the things that you lacked, because they're just gonna twist it and say something else. You're gonna say the same thing they told you. You're gonna tell them, remember when you said you got yourself in, you got yourself out? Then you get yourself in. You get yourself out. And I am not telling you to say this in a sarcastic way. This is between you and I. But just, be neutral and tell them like that. And then you can wrap it up with something like, you can grow wings like I did. Simple. Just like that. We have to be kind in life. We have to believe in humanity. But when something like this happens, in my opinion, it's an exception. Okay? This is an exception. And it's okay to be kind. But in cases like that, be kind, but not stupid. And with this, I wrap up my video for today. If you found this information, not information, let's put like entertainment video. If you found it valuable, maybe you consider it valuable information. Who knows? Maybe you consider it encouraging. So if you consider it encouraging and valuable, hit that like button, because what it does when you hit like, it pushes it as recommendation to other people that may be searching for the same and need that encouragement as well. So they get more impressions of it. Okay. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you. I know my comments are turned off, but I know you're watching. Okay, so I appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It would be so amazing to be able to spread even more these messages, and to be able to share more of our life journeys, because I like to share a little bit of everything. So I appreciate you being here. Okay, you have a wonderful day.